What's up guys, Eve from Uncle Tex. Today I'm going to show you guys how I make a small open fire grill for camping. I started out by drawing and cutting two 45-degree angles on opposite sides of 4 pieces of L angle steel. And I did this to make a perfect square shape for the actual frame of the grill. After that, I went ahead and put it on my table for assembly and then put the square on and make sure it's nice and squared up, tacked it down, and then right then and there, weld all the way through. After I finished the frame, I grabbed a piece of grate and I just put it on top of the frame and under it, just trying to get the perfect measurement, making sure that my grate wasn't too small or too big so they wouldn't fit in it. After I had found my measurement, I went ahead and cut it out. Make sure you go joint by joint. Don't try to cut the whole thing at the same time because you will break your disc and it will not be pretty. Side note, be careful when welding the grate onto the frame because since the grate is thinner than the frame, it can burn through it and this is just extra work that you don't want to go through. For the hinges on the folding legs, all I did was cut out 4 3-inch pieces of square tubing that I found in our yard. And then I grabbed 2 pieces of rebar and cut 4 pieces out at 4 inches each. And then the actual legs were made out of the same material that I made the frame out of. I cut them at 8 inches at this clip, but later on I made a small modification, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure that all 4 of your hinges are all welded at the same measurement. I cut the legs on my grill at 8 inches each, but I did have to cut them down because they wouldn't fold properly inside the frame, so make sure you keep that in mind depending on how big your frame is on your grill. I added 4 leg stoppers at the back of each leg. All of these made out of rebar. And that was because I noticed that when I stood the grill up, the legs would open up too much. So make sure you put it down on the floor, set it how you want it to be, and then tack those stoppers in the back of them, and then throw it on your table and then weld them out. Make sure you cut the excess out of those stoppers to prevent any injuries because rebar is sharp. I also decided to add retractable handles onto my grill frame, and this is very optional. I just did it out of aesthetics and convenience in case I want to pick it up, carry it or something. And pretty much all I did was figure out where I wanted them to be, turned up my welding machine all the way to the top, and grabbed me one of those good old 60-11 rods and just went to town with it. Start in the center of your circle and spiral all the way out. You can do this too with a 70-18 rod, but I recommend doing it with a 60-11 or a 60-10 because I personally noticed that the 70-18 still sticks a lot even at high angles. The handles were actually pretty easy to make. They were 2 pieces, 2 5-inch pieces of 1/2-inch rebar and then another 4 pieces at 4 inches of the same thickness rebar. I kind of simulated the actual handle just to make sure that all the measurements were in order. And then my rebar could fit in the holes. And then once I confirmed that it could fit in the holes, I threw it onto my table and welded the handles out. I put 2 pieces of rebar on each side of the handle. This is just as stoppers so that the handle wouldn't come out of the frame whenever you pull it. After our assembly was completed, I went ahead and used the tiger disc to clean the whole grill. I did not have a wire wheel on me at the time, otherwise I would have ran past with the wire wheel. But like I said, I didn't have one, so I just tried to get as much of that rust that I could with a tiger disc without damaging that metal. And here you guys have it, an open fire grill with foldable legs ready for camping.